Hello everyone. So last month I did my first ever tier ranking video, which if you don't know, tier ranking is like a site, other sites do it, where you just list things into different categories, whether you really liked it, whether you didn't, it's your opinion. They're honestly just really fun. I had a really fun time doing it. I did it with all of the 2021 romances I read. And this time I decided to do something totally different. I just thought of this the other night and I was like, this could be fun. So today I'm going to do a tier ranking of all of the TV shows I have completed. So yeah, there's not too many. I mean, depending if you think that it's a lot or not a lot. There's a lot of people that watch way more TV than I do, and there's a lot of people that don't watch nearly as much as I do. And a lot of these shows are like older shows. Like you'll just see how my preferences are when it comes to these TV shows. You'll also notice there's not a lot of really dark and serious ones because I don't tend to gravitate towards those. I like more comedy, lighthearted stuff because I think like not my personal life, but just life in general has enough doom and gloom to it. So I don't watch a lot of really serious stuff when it comes to TV. I don't know. So yeah, there's caveats to this, obviously. So first of all, there can be no show that is still ongoing on this list. Yeah, if the show is still ongoing or hasn't been completed, it's not on this list. Another one is miniseries. I didn't really put this on there, or like limited series where it's only one season, because I do feel like, yes, it's great. There's a lot of limited series that are amazing, but I don't feel like it's like enough to go on. Like I really wanted a list of like shows that had more than like 2 seasons that you could really get to know the characters, really the plot. Like it's really in, like, you get a lot of TV's worth. So you could agree with that or not agree with that, because if I added a limited series to this, it'd be even longer, because that's a big thing now. Like I go back and look at all the shows I really started and finished, like the entirety of the show, and hopefully I got them all. If not, I don't know. So let's get into it. I have a list. I did make this list. It's nothing fancy. You want to find it, I'll put the link down below. So first off, we have Sheer Perfection. This means that it is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And honestly, this list might not be a surprise to you at all. Caveat I should say is that I also put reality shows in this because I've only finished 3 reality shows. And I was like, that's enough. I'll throw them in there because I don't watch that much reality shows. I just don't, but either way. Okay, so the first category is Sheer Perfection. That means they are like my top of the top, my favorite of the favorites. We have So Close to Perfect. These are TV series that I really do love. I love them, but I don't think they're like 100% amazing. No show really is, but you get what I'm saying. We have to have different categories. Then we have Rewatchable. By this, it means literally that, rewatchable. It's a series that I would rewatch. And yeah. And I don't think it's like super amazing or anything like that, but it's rewatchable. And then we have Meh, it was okay. It was okay. I'm glad I finished it, you know, that kind of stuff. And then I have No Thanks. I don't know if any one of these are going to go into No Thanks, because if I started a series and I finished it, I had to like it at some point. So there you have it. So these are in no particular order. So let's just dive on in. So first up, we have one of my favorites, Gossip Girl. I started Gossip Girl when it first came out. And early 2000s, I don't know, but fan of Gossip Girl, I still am. I refuse to watch the reboot because there was no reason to reboot it, but that's where we're at. And say what you will, Gossip Girl is iconic. I think a lot of shows have kind of copied Gossip Girl with the way that the actors talk. I feel like Veronica Lodge is really from Riverdale is really trying to be Blair Waldorf.
Like a true good girl who always follows the rules. Want to follow rules, I make them. And when necessary, I break them.
Oh God, honey, no.
But in reality, no one can be Blair Waldorf but Blair Waldorf. Like, she's just amazing. Like, she's witty.
Dorota, are you insane?
I don't know.
You use the everyday China. Cyrus will think we're just common upper middle class.
I mean, is this show like Sheer Perfection? No, but it's so close to perfect. I will say that. Like, it's a good show. It's a show you can binge. You can just have a fun time with. And there's so many like love different triangle things in this. And I'll still go down to this day saying that I was a big fan, and still a big fan of Blair and Dan being together. I said it. I don't like Chuck. I never liked Chuck. He's problematic as mess. The things he got away with on the show is just sheer insanity to me. Like, he's a horrible person. I don't get why people like him.
I'm Chuck Bass.
The
disgusting!
Don't. So, and I don't get why people don't like Blair and Dan. I feel like that's a natural relationship. I hate the love relationship. They were so, I don't know. Anyway, I like Blair and Dan. I said it. There I go. If you haven't watched Gossip Girl, do it. It's a fun time. I mean, the late seasons are not that great, but the first 2 seasons are like some of the best seasons ever on any TV show. Then we have Lost. I did finish Lost. Lost is a show that I started it because everyone else loved it. I can't remember if I was watching it while it was still on air, if I just streamed it in like the really early days of Netflix. I can't quite remember, but I remember it was a show that I thought I could put on the background while I was doing things, and I quickly realized that you cannot do that with Lost. You better pay attention to every minute detail or you're gonna get lost. It's a good show. I really would recommend it. I would put it in a rewatchable. Like, I mean, a lot of people put it in sheer perfection, but it was an intense show for me. There were so many different angles that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't, this is a lot to keep up with, but it's a good show. It's rewatchable in my opinion. Will I ever rewatch it? I don't know. Then we have The Office. I mean, let's just go ahead. This is the easiest one ever. We're gonna put it in sheer perfection. The Office is a great show. I think a lot of people will stand by that.
I declare bankruptcy!
Watch it from the beginning. I'm not an OG fan of it. I think I started watching it. I would dare say I wasn't a big fan of it. Like, I didn't understand the appeal of it. And then one day, randomly, I think it was on Hulu. I'm not sure, but you know how sometimes Hulu will roll over to a next episode? I don't remember, but either way, it was a Christmas episode where like Jim had wrapped all of like Dwight's like desk and all of his things on that, and then he fell, and I was like, wow, that's actually pretty funny.
Well, I hope it was worth it, because I'm going to take it apart in about 5 minutes.
I think it'll take you a little bit longer than that.
Really? If I can skin a mule deer in less than 10 minutes, I ought to be able to cut my...
And then that's when I started that. Was it season 5 or season 6? So yeah, that's when I started it. I binged the mess out of it. I love it. My favorite seasons, hands down, are, I would say probably seasons 3 and 4. Probably 4. 4 might be my favorite season of all time. But I've done a whole video of my top 10 favorite episodes of The Office if you want to check it out. It's a great show. As is Schitt's Creek, sheer perfection. This is one that I watched because everyone was talking about it, and a lot of people were like, this is a great show, you need to watch it. And I watched it, and the first 2 episodes I was like, it's okay, it's not that great, but like with any show, the first season's always a little bit rocky, especially the first few episodes, because they're trying to find their footing, they're trying to learn their characters, they're trying to find their plot. You know, it's a hard thing to start a TV show. With a movie, you have a certain amount of minutes where you have this plot to fulfill. TV shows is a little bit different because you never know how long you're going to be on air for. Will you be on air for 5 years, or will you get canceled within 1? So it's hard to you know, get settled in that. So the first couple episodes are not that great, but man, it gets amazing. It's got great actors. It's just hilarious. It is a show that I will rewatch time and time again because, I mean, just David Rose and Alexis Rose are just the best of the best. I mean, every character in this show is just amazing, and the casting is amazing.
This is not a wedding dress. It's a white floor-length gown. It's very different.
Did it come with a veil?
No, it came with a headdress.
What?
Then we have, you know, my second favorite show of all time. Well, no, probably my first favorite show, Gilmore Girls. We all know I'm a big fan of Gilmore Girls. I've said it time and time again. I've rewatched the show in its entirety. I have done multiple videos about it. I've done my top 10 episodes. When the revival came out, The Year in the Life, I did one for every single episode. I wouldn't even put that on this list of Gilmore Girls because I didn't really enjoy it, but Gilmore Girls is just like, it is a cup of warm tea. If you liked warm tea, I don't like warm tea, but it's a cup of coffee, let's just say that. It warms your soul. It warms your soul. It's happy. It's adorable. It's a mother and daughter relationship. I love Gilmore Girls, and I still do, always will, but as I grow older in my, 30-something years of being on this earth, and I watch Gilmore Girls more, the more I loathe Rory Gilmore. Like, the early seasons, she's okay, and then she just becomes a character that I just despise immensely, and I think that makes me love the show a little less because of just how horrible she is. And I think people are really starting to wake up on that. They have been. I think it really woke them up with A Year in Life, me included. But gosh, Rory is just ugh. But I mean, the show is great. You got Lorelai, who's a iffy character, but she's amazing. Luke, oh, love Luke. I mean, it's just a great show. It will be my favorite show for forever, honestly. I love it. Next up, we have a reality show, a little show called Laguna Beach. I loved Laguna Beach, and I still do. I don't rewatch Laguna Beach, but rather right now I'm watching it through the eyes of Whitney Port and her husband. Whitney was in another reality show that's on this list, The Hills, and her husband decided to do a whole commentary of The Hills. They watched every episode, and they did a video on each episode where they just watched it and they commented on it and things like that. They did The City, they did The Hills, and now they're doing Laguna Beach. So right now they're probably about to finish up season 2, and that's how I'm rewatching it right now, and it's just hilarious. So if you're a big fan of Laguna Beach, The Hills, you need to watch the channel. It's amazing, but I would put this in rewatchable. It's not amazing or so close to perfect at all. It's a show that I would rewatch, and I am technically rewatching it right now. It's a fun time. It's quintessential kind of early 2000s reality TV, in my opinion. Next up, we have another one of my all-time favorite shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You guys know I've talked about this a lot. I have a whole video of top 10 episodes. I started this thing called Slayerathon. It is a show that I will always stick by because I started watching it when I was 12, which is probably way too young to start watching it, but I did. And that was my first ever like TV show love. Is the first season is rough. Like I said on a lot of shows, The Office first season's rough. Gilmore Girls first season's actually not that bad. It's pretty decent, but Buffy season's rough. First season's rough. The second season really starts to hit its stride. If you don't know what Buffy's about, it's about a character named Buffy, and she slays vampires, and she falls in love with a vampire, and it's just so good.
Oh, very well, you eat this late. You're gonna get heartburn. Get it? Heartburn? That's it. That's all I get.
Like, I love it. It has so many great, like, I just will always see Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy and will always love this show. And I do rewatch episodes now and then. My favorite season of all time is season 3, I think. I'm still sticking by that. I love seasons 3 and 5 the most. Like, they are just prime TV seasons, in my opinion. Like, so good. Moving on to a show that I don't think a lot of people know about is the IT Crowd. So the IT Crowd is one that my husband and I found when Netflix first started doing their whole streaming thing, which I can't even remember what year that was, but we just saw it recommended and we watched it and we fell in love with it. It's a British show, and usually we're not the biggest fan of British shows. I think that they have very different humor than what I'm used to. Like, I tried watching The Office, the UK, the original Office. I couldn't get into it, but the IT Crowd is an amazing show. It's basically about, you guessed it, 3 people that work in the IT department of this really big corporation, about their lives and about their work lives, and it is just hilarious. It is a great show. Like, it has a couple episodes in this whole show that I think are some of the best episodes ever in TV history. Like, they're just so good. It is hilarious, and I don't think a lot of people know about it. And if you want just a fun TV show, like, you need to watch it. So I would put this in so close to perfect. It's not like 100% one of my all-time favorites, but I love it, and I rewatch some of the episodes and I laugh. Like, you know, a show is good when you've seen an episode 50,000 times, but yet the same scenes can make you laugh out loud repeatedly.
Keep a conversation about things that would interest everybody. You know, nothing about memory or RAM.
Memory is RAM.
It's a good show, and this one is a great show that more people need to watch. I think I did like a video of like underrated TV shows, and that was one of them, and it still is. I still think it is. Next up, we have Friends. Friends is a show everybody has probably watched, myself included. It's a great show. It's rewatchable. It's great. I don't think it's near perfect. Putting it in rewatchable. I know a lot of people will be like, how dare you? I just don't think it's super amazing. It's a fun show. Rewatchable is a good category for me. it means it's the show I will rewatch. And I do find myself going to certain episodes of Friends and rewatching them, or sometimes when I'm in the mood to watch a show but I don't want to watch anything new because 'tis my life, which is why there's probably not more shows on this list. I rewatch Friends. It's a great show. I'm not gonna lie, it's a fun show. The casting is great, the storylines are great. It's a fun time. It's about a group of friends in New York. You know what it's about. I don't have to tell you. The Mindy Project. Oh, so I watched The Mindy Project for Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling was a character of the name Kelly in The Office, and I've always liked Mindy Kaling. I had read her books and I watched the movies she was in, and I really enjoyed it. So when I found out she was going to have her own show, I was very excited for it. And I think it was on Fox at first. I think it was on Fox for a couple seasons. And then it got canceled, and then Hulu picked it up to finish it. And it just, it never got really good to me. Like, I've said time and time again, a lot of shows, their first season, it takes them a while to find their fitting. And with the Mindy Project, I really felt like it never found its footing. Fitting. Did I say fitting? I meant footing. It never really found its footing. I think they really struggled a lot with casting. I think they had like 4 characters in the show that the casting was perfect. It was great. Like Mindy's character was great. Danny's character was great. She had Morgan, who was great. And then kind of after that, there wasn't that great of casting. I think they were really struggling with having different characters in it, and I think that's where it kind of fell short for me. I wanted so much to love this show because I love Mindy Kaling, but it just wasn't 100% there for me. So first it's gonna go in my meh. It was okay. Like, it's not a show I would rewatch, if I'm honest with you. I just have no desire to, but I feel so bad about this because I love Mindy Kaling. I think she's hilarious and I love her books, but I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't 100% there for me. Oh my goodness. We have Parenthood. Parenthood is a show that I started watching when it first came out because it had Lauren Graham, aka Lorelai Gilmore, in it. And chances are, if you were in one of my all-time favorite shows and you go to another show or in another movie, I'm gonna watch it just because you were in one. And that's exactly what it was with Parenthood. I was like, Lauren Graham's in it, I gotta check it out. And I really liked it when I first started watching it, but then I noticed that it was pretty freaking sad. So I was like, you know, I don't think I can watch this. Fast forward to a couple years later, the show, I think it's on its next to last season. I was hanging out with friends and they were talking about it and they were saying how good it was, and I was like, oh yeah. I started watching that, but it was sad, so I had to finish it. And they were like, yeah, it's sad, but it's such a good show. So then I came home and I binged the hell out of it. And I haven't regretted it since. Yes, it is a sad show. Think of This Is Us. I think This Is Us is pretty comparable to Parenthood. I think Parenthood's better, but that's just me. Parenthood is about the Braverman family. You follow all the siblings, as well as the parents, as well as the kids of the Braverman kids, and it's just a very heartwarming but sad show. This show is very sad, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of really great moments that are gonna make you cry with happiness, but there's a lot of moments that are gonna make you freaking weep like nobody's freaking business. But it is an amazing show. It is, I'll put this as so close to perfect. Like, it was so good. Like, I highly recommend if you're like loving This Is Us, you're like, I want a show like this. Parenthood did This Is Us before This Is Us. I said it. Ugly Betty. Ugly Betty is another one of my all-time like first loves of TV. I started watching this because of American Ferrara. I think she was she in The Sister of Traveling Pants before this? I'm not sure, but I've always liked Ugly Betty. Ugly Betty is a fun show that I don't hear anybody talk about now. I think it was pretty big when it was on, but it was a fun time. So Betty is a character that wants to be a writer, and she gets a job as a receptionist to this guy, and it's really like amazing fashion magazine. It's kind of like The Devil Wears Prada, if you will. You have a character kind of like Meryl Streep's character with Wilhelmina Ford in it. And basically Betty obviously does not fit in there. She has braces and glasses and everyone jokes on her, but she's just a character you root for so much. She's the heart of the show. She's hilarious. She's amazing. It's a show that I wouldn't say it was so close to perfect, but it's a rewatchable show for sure. I love it. Not enough people talk about it. I really like it. Then we have The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. It's a show I started watching from the beginning because of, I forget the actress's name. Kimmy Schmidt, she was also in The Office as Erin, and this was made by Tina Fey, another one of my favorites. And it was okay. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. The first season was great. I would dare say Titus is the star of the show.
Pizza party for one, divorce, dead, and having some fun. Pizza party for one. I don't have pizza.
Not KIMMY SCHMIDT. I said it. He's amazing in it. And this show was, you know, it's a fun show. I wouldn't even put it in rewatchable. It was just kind of okay. The last season was very odd. It was like kind of a whole choose your own adventure type of thing. I think it was very innovative, but I didn't love it. But it's a fun show. I would put it was okay. It's nothing like, I feel so bad. The meh was okay is just two characters from The Office that broke off to do their own shows. That sounds so bad. Like, I liked In The Office, but that's all you can do. No, I didn't love them as much as I wanted to. Rock. So close to perfect. So, oh my gosh, 30 Rock's another underrated show. I think it got tons of awards, as it should, because it was hilarious, but I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. It is like an amazing show. It's about a character named Liz Lemon.
Working on my night cheese.
Who works at 30 Rock, which you don't know is 30 Rockefeller Center in New York, where they film like Saturday Night Live, Conan O'Brien, all those many things. And they have this show called TGS, and she's the kind of head writer for this show, and she's kind of the creator of this show. It's all about the shenanigans that go on with the show. It's got great casting. The side characters are amazing. It's a fun show. Like, oh my gosh. This is a show I do rewatch lots of times, and I'll often quote it a lot. My husband and I will quote it a lot. I mean, it's great. If you don't identify with Liz Lemon, like, she's great. Watch the show, trust me. Then we have The OC. The OC is a show that was a phenomenon. And like, it came out when Laguna Beach was coming out. I think there's even an episode in the first season of Laguna Beach with all of them going to someone's house to watch an episode of the OC, because Laguna Beach is in the OC, Orange County. But Laguna Beach, OC, excuse me, it's an okay show. It's not like an amazing show. I wouldn't say it's like a quintessential like kind of teen show. It's not one of my favorites. I'm gonna put it in meh. It was okay. It's a show that, I mean, my favorite characters are not even the main characters. Well, I guess they're the supporting characters, would be Seth Cohen. I will say, this show made me fall in love with Death Cab for Cutie. It's how I discovered Death Cab for Cutie, and they're one of my favorite bands still to this day.
It's a nightmare. I'm sweating to death driving 10 miles an hour on like a rickshaw listening to this music.
Hey, do not insult Death Cab.
I love them. I will see them live one day. But gosh, the soundtracks in these like teen shows are freaking phenomenal. Like Gossip Girl, The OC, what's another show that had a great soundtrack to it? Dawson's Creek had some good shows. Has some good soundtracks, like The Freaking Gold. The OC is a show that's not one of my favorites, but man, I enjoyed watching it, I'll tell you that. The Wonder Years is a classic show. I'm gonna put it in rewatchable for sure. The Wonder Years takes place, is it the 60s or the 70s? I can't remember. It's been a while, but it's a show I would rewatch again for sure. It's basically about Kevin, and you get to hear his kind of adult version talk about his life as when he was a kid, things like that. It's a fun show. I would recommend it. 70s show, again, rewatchable. It's a show that actually my husband will just put on sometimes when he wants to just, you know, because sometimes you just need shows to watch when you're just stressed. And that 70s was one of them. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's a show that takes place in the 70s. It's a fun time. It's a good show, and they tried to make the 80s show, and I think they're going to do a 90s show now. We'll see how it goes. How I Met Your Mother. I think when I first started watching the show, it was one of my favorites. I thought it was very interesting, very fun, and then they freaking... the ending of that show was a huge slap in the face to everyone, I think. I don't think I've talked to a single person yet that has enjoyed the ending of this show. Like, I think it was just horrible, and I think that destroyed a lot of the love. Also, as I rewatch some episodes, I'm like, they so clearly borrowed direct plot lines from like Friends or Seinfeld. And I'm like, I guess that's what TV shows do. They just recycle the same material. I guess you could say movies do that too, but How I Met Your Mother... I put it in rewatchable. It's a show I would rewatch sometimes, but I mean, I feel like it's just another version of Friends. They have like a couple in it. They have kind of a guy that is a woman's man that does like gets with all the ladies. Then you have kind of like your Ross character who's kind of acts like he's better than everybody else. Like I feel like it's like it's just another version of Friends. Am I the only one that feels that way? I don't know. I will say Friends is better than that. I'll tell you that. I will say Friends is better than How I Met Your Mother. There, I said it. I don't know if people agree with me or not. Dawson's Creek. This is a quintessential 90s show. A quintessential teen show. This show is the epitome of melodramatic teenagers.
You have to see for yourself, all right? I can stand here and tell you that it's a colossal mistake and that all roads lead back to me, but that's not going to make any bit of difference. Words and speeches sound great, but they don't add up to anything.
The way they would do these really long monologues, like I would just be like, who talks like this? Like who? But I mean, the writing was much more, I guess like more intense. I mean, they just made like these speeches and these like, and I'm just like, I was a teenager and I never freaking talked like this. I don't know. I mean, I can't be too mad at it because it brought us this iconic meme and scene from the show that, I mean, will always live in infamy because it's just so good. But I mean, like Dawson's Creek, the best part of this show, and I will always say it, is Pacey and Joey. Hands down, watch it for Pacey and Joey. In fact, just watch the Pacey and Joey scene episodes. I think you'll get the gist of it. That's just me. I'm gonna put it in, rewatchable. Man, it was okay. It is okay. I can't be the only one that feels that way. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, sheer perfection, or so close to perfect. I think the last couple of seasons were kind of meh, but gosh, man, I watched this because everyone recommended it because they were like, if you like Parks and Rec, if you like The Office, 30 Rock, watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I wasn't gonna watch it because like Andy Samberg's okay. I didn't really love him a lot in Saturday Night Live, but goodness me, he found his fitting in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Go take another crack at Whitman.
You've been in there like 5 times. What are you gonna do? Annoy him into talking?
Ha ha. 2, 3, 4.
It's a hilarious show. If you don't know what it's about the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the 99th precinct in Brooklyn, New York, and it is hilarious. It's a great show that I will definitely rewatch time and time again. Great characters, great casting, overall amazing. Angel's a spinoff of Buffy. Angel was a main character in Buffy. He got his own show. It was okay. Yeah, I know. That's going to be hard to say. I will rewatch Buffy 50 times more than I will rewatch Angel. The first season was meh, and then like I feel like the last season was really good. But then the fourth season, is it 5 seasons? The fourth season was just like a freaking train wreck. It was either the third or fourth season, but it's a show that I will rewatch occasionally maybe, but it was just okay. I don't love it nearly as much as Buffy, and that's just me. Then we have Friday Night Lights. It's a show I started randomly watching on Netflix one day, got obsessed, got hooked, rewatchable for sure. I wouldn't put it as so close to perfect. Friday Night Lights they had a movie first. It's about a football team in Texas. Like it's about a football coach that goes to this school and he becomes like a great football coach, and there's all this love triangles and things go on. I believe the creators from Parenthood made this. So they made Friday Night Lights first and then they made Parenthood. Either way, Friday Night Lights is a great show that I would recommend. Glee. I have a lot of memories of Glee. I have a lot of memories of me and my best friend Brittany like just eating snacks and watching the latest episode of Glee. I have memories of the day after Glee would air, like the latest episode, the iTunes charts would come out and they would dominate it every single week with their version of whatever song they did that week. Glee was, say what you will, it's a problematic show as mess, but it was a phenomenon. Like I was swept into it. I was like a Rachel Berry lover. The more we watch it now, I'm like, gosh, it's horrible, but it's got great casting. Some of the songs are catchy as mess. So I'm gonna put it rewatchable. It's a show I would rewatch again. I haven't because there's so many people on that show, sadly, that have passed away. That's so sad. But it's a good show. I mean, it's debatable, but I have a lot of fond memories of watching it, so it's gonna go there. New Girl. I'm putting it here. Even though I did not like the last season, the last 2 seasons as much, but this is one of the shows, the first season was solid. Like, I usually am not a fan of first seasons at all because, like I said repeatedly, shows have to find their footing. But New Girl, like, the first season's rock solid to me. I'd say the first 4 seasons are amazing. How many seasons did it have? 5 or 6, maybe 7. I don't know. But either way, it's a great show. It shows that the side characters are the star, honestly. Like, Nick, Winston, and SCHMIDT own this show. Like, Jess is there. She's great. Sometimes she's a little too quirky, like too much. But man, freaking, like I said, man, freaking Winston and Nick and SCHMIDT are just the owners of this show. They make it what it is, and they are the best. I said it, and I will stand by it. Like, I freaking love it. Like,
Do you think this is your towel? Do you even wash it?
No, I don't wash the towel. The towel washes me. Who washes a towel?
You never wash.
You wash your towel?
You never wash the towel?
What am I gonna do? Wash the shower next?
I love Nick. I think Nick and Winston are my 2 favorite characters this entire show. Like, Winston, I love Winston. They're just great characters. Parks and Rec, sheer perfection. Amazing. Like I said, the first season, but man, 3rd season is my favorite season of all time.
K to the N to the O-P-E, she's the dopest little shorty in all Pawnee, Indiana.
Why don't you just stop at Pawnee?
The show, like, it is just amazing. Amy Poehler is amazing. I fully believe Amy Poehler got cast as the role of Joy in Inside Out, which is a Pixar movie where she's literally the character of Joy, strictly from her being Leslie Knope in Parks and Rec. I don't care what anybody says. That's exactly what I think, and that's exactly what I feel. She is the epitome of Joy in Parks and Rec. She's just amazing. Again, side characters are amazing. Like, the guy that did John Ralphio was amazing. The guy that played Ron Swanson was amazing. April was amazing. Tom Haverford was amazing. Ben Wyatt. So good. Like, it is TV gold in my opinion. As is The Hills. I said it. The Hills is my favorite reality show of all time. It's a show we watched a ton. The Hills is a spinoff of Laguna Beach. We followed Lauren Conrad, and I was addicted and am still addicted to this show. I watched Hills New Beginnings. I did not put this on this list because meh. That's where I would put it, probably no thanks. I should have probably put it on here, but The Hills is iconic. Like, I mean, there's so many amazing scenes.
I can't do it anymore. Look at me. Homeboy wore combat boots to the beach.
It's just a great reality show that I just can't get enough of. Seinfeld, so close to perfect. Oh, I don't know. Sheer perfection. I'm just gonna put so close to perfect. Seinfeld is a show that I never thought I would watch. I was always like, Seinfeld, everyone talks about Seinfeld. And then one day I was doing a vlog. This was only like a few years ago, and I was gonna make soup. And I'm always trying to think of like different ways I can incorporate clips into my videos because I like doing that, and I'm not as good as I want to be because I don't know, but I was like, soup. I was like, oh, isn't there a Seinfeld clip where they talk about the soup guy? And so I looked it up. It's on the episode of The Soup Nazi, and I watched, that was the first ever episode of the Seinfeld I watched, and I was like, it's pretty funny.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3. What? No soup for you.
And then I just started watching it, not in order at all. And I think that's the beauty of Seinfeld, is you can do that. If you want to start in season 5, go for it. You ain't gonna, there's not a lot of different plots going on that you can't fill in for yourself. It's literally a show about nothing. They say that, and it really is. And it's a great show. It's pretty funny. Like, it stands the test of time. I mean, it's a show that I really enjoy. I do want to film a top 10 Seinfeld episodes. If you want to see that, let me know.
I must be out, or I'd pick up the phone. Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home.
King and Queens, rewatchable. In fact, I'm rewatching it right now just to kind of watch something. It's a funny show. It's probably one of the only few CBS shows I've watched. CBS shows are kind of hit or miss for me. Like, I just don't enjoy them as much. Like, I tried watching Two Broke Girls. The King of Queens it's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's Kevin James and his wife, and it's a show that doesn't have a lot of depth or plot to it, but it's just kind of your kind of weekly funny show, I guess you could say. It's okay. The last show I have on here fits the bill with Jersey Shore. It's gonna go right in rewatchable because I really do rewatch it this is 1,000% trash TV. 1,000%. I fully acknowledge that. It's an MTV show about these 6 characters, not even characters, real people that go stay at Jersey Shore, and they are just horrible. They party, they drink, they sleep with each other, they yell, they fight, they cuss a lot. It is just, it's so trash. It is trash. But goodness me, I think I just started watching this with my 2 best friends, and we still like talk about it this day. We could put it on and watch it. I think when the new ones started coming out, we started meeting weekly at my friend's house to watch it together, and life happened, we couldn't really do it. I haven't watched the new ones now. It doesn't hold a candle to like the first few of the seasons of the show. Like the Ron and Sammy freaking stuff, oh my gosh, it was intense. It is horrible. It's a horrible show. I fully acknowledge that. Like, I'm ashamed to put this on here and put even in it rewatchable. Like, it's over freaking Mindy Project. That's horrible. But it's a show I rewatch. Like, if I'm really stressed out and I'm like, gosh, I want to watch people being stupid as mess, I'll watch the Jersey Shore. Oh, I hate myself. Whatever. We all have those shows. They're guilty pleasure shows. This is one of them. I will tell 5,000 people I watch The Hills with no shame over Jersey Shore. Moving on, here's my list of all of the shows I've completed. When I look at it, it's not a ton, but think about it, this is a lot of hours of TV right here, like a lot. So, I mean, it is what it is. I would love to know if you agree with these statements or not. I'm sure a lot of you guys would put a lot of these in to sheer perfection. Sorry, I didn't realize that was highlighted. But yeah, this is my list. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this. I have much more future plans to do more tier ranking videos because they're fun. I want to do one on thriller reads. I want to do one on, you can even break it down to episodes of a TV show. That would be a lot, especially if you pick a show that's like 6 seasons or more. Oh my gosh. But either way, this was fun to do. I would love to know if you have the same opinions as me or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And thank you for watching. I'm going to stop talking because my throat hurts from talking so insanely much during this. Bye.